Did you do all this?
No.
But it was Meeks. Oh, well, happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Also, flashing.
So, here in this house for the festive season, you have to do something festive when it comes to bad movies.
Sure.
We very first started watching bad movies around the holiday time when we didn't really have much else to do. It was usually, to be fair, closer to New Year's, where we'd have a New Year's bad movie party. You know, really to stick it to all those party goers and all their drinks and their music. We would be watching crap movies. So yeah. Oh, speaking of, Merry Christmas, SiscHo.
Oh, thank you. And let's see what Santa brought us. Oh yes. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Or, in German,
Garbage Day!
Garbage Day! Huh? No!
That's the German, right?
that is German. Also German, Still Nacht, Horror Nacht.
Yeah, so obviously Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, because Part 1, is infamous. Our copy is the German DVD release, because of course it is. Still Nacht, Horror Nacht. I am promised that it's sprachen English, so it should be in English. I suppose in some respects it's very, very apt, because the VHS of Silent Night, Deadly Night that we had was a European release. I think it was Spanish, but it was completely in English, just with Spanish subtitles. So this time we're going from Spain to Deutschland.
Okay.
España to Deutschland. And that's how we're going to spend our Christmas.
Yeah.
Come and join us, will you? For some Deadly Night. Still Nacht, Horror Nacht.
Yeah, it's a bad movie with a Christmas theme-ish.
Well, there's Santa's in it. It should be great. Can you think of a better way to spend Christmas? Instead of being with your family and loved ones? Let's go, let's go, let's go. The disc is rattling, so it might not work. This is going to be great. This is going to be great.
So this is my meek scene where I'm supposed to struggle to open this, right?
Yes. Well, as you know, plastic's impossible to open. We've already been shown that by Meeks.
Okay.
I think Meeks' record is 1 minute 50 seconds. So. Oh,
Damn it! It's part 2 that was rattling.
So part 2 probably won't work.
It's in there. Let's go watch it.
Garbage Day! Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Part 2.
Part 2. The sexual tension in that scene, oh my goodness.
Now we've established that this guy also has feet and legs.
Again, saxophone. This is a sexy intro. Just slow pan up the legs. The music isn't really creating a creepy atmosphere, though.
No, it's very weird.
You can leave now.
Hey, it's not Keith Carradine. For the longest time, we were sure that was a young Keith Carradine. It isn't. But maybe it should be. Let's change the IMDb.
My name is Dr. Bloom.
When did he move the chair away from the table?
Henry.
Every acting choice in this is brilliant. Eric gets all the praise because he's insane. All his choices are insane, but every actor is on point with the awkwardness and just bizarre deliveries of everything. Line readings, movement.
Doom.
I need to ask you
Oh my
something.
god, it's Christmas Eve.
Shoot. It's your dime.
Is he paying him?
Who killed your parents? You really want to know? Who?
Are you ready to jump back to Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1, SiscHo?
Santa Claus.
It's almost like watching Santa kill his parents might make him not like Christmas.
Proof. Of what, Sister Margaret? What I've
Now,
been saying.
I do want to point out the wall rug behind the sister,
Simply because some
but anybody who's watched Bad Movie Mountain and seen all the wayward shots we do might recognize that border.
He must be taught. Good day, sister.
Was naughty.
That was an interesting editing choice, quite frankly.
And acting. And directing.
It's fairly obvious where he was going.
Really? Well, maybe we're just jerking off here then. Huh? You're a good dog.
All those eyebrows.
I know all the moves. Squash you like a bug.
He is an eyebrow actor.
Not yet.
He can't
I
stop.
was going to say, once you notice it, you can't stop noticing it. Hey, another celebrity cameo. It reminds me of like big train sketches where they duck into the shops and then come back out and the music starts up again.
Mom, Ricky, darling, Mommy is talking. So we are going to Mom, look. What is it, sweetheart? I don't know what is wrong with us. That's okay. So anyway,
It's filmed like it's a comedy.
It's
It was about 5 years later.
Okay. Here's something, okay? This is him playing like a 15-year-old, yeah? That's a 24-year-old actor playing a 15-year-old. That actor is older than Eric playing Ricky in the future. It's kind of like...
I forgot they had a different actor in for him as 15. Because he looks nothing like... He's got different hair colour and everything.
And he's older than Ricky. It's kind of like the warden's kid in the story of Ricky, where you get like a 30-year-old actor to play a 4-year-old. Why not? Go for it.
I've never told anybody this before.
Let it out.
Oh god, his line delivery is so fucking on point. Here it comes.
Paranoid when everyone around you gets dead.
One of my favorite scenes coming up. What kind of notes are these? Here we go.
Going too fast for you, Doc. Point. You got any kids, Doc?
Every scene is golden.
No way. Too many people get away with shit like that. Punishment.
Discipline.
You're really starting to get to me, Doc. You're getting real close.
Ooh.
Tell me about Jennifer.
Gonna start fucking.
Eat shit.
Who is this?
It's the headshot of an actress.
Probably the one she used to get this part.
Jennifer. She's the only thing I ever cared about.
Naughty. This is how they introduce every character, not just the women.
Oh,
Slow
no,
pan up of the legs.
Every single character starts off at the feet with a slow pan.
She was a knockout.
Chaos. The motion picture you've been waiting for. More action. More death and destruction than any film ever
Nice.
seen before.
You like this stuff?
Chaos.
Huh?
They're watching the first
Did
film.
you say this movie was about?
Oh, it's great. It's about this guy who dresses up like Santa Claus and kills people.
What?
I'm holding you up, asshole.
Punish.
Ricky?
What?
31 bucks. Merry Christmas.
Watch this. The guy's gonna go down into the basement without a flashlight. Brilliant. Never mind the fact that everyone else in the movie's dead. Oh, stupid.
How fast did this movie go?
Now kiss.
Naughty.
Meter's running, Chip. Or are you using a credit card?
As soon as you see that sweater, you know everything's
you think
about to
it's
pick
gonna-
up.
Yeah.
That sweater is everybody hold onto your fucking ass because things are about to get crazy. Keep a hold of his neck though, yeah? I'm sure electricity doesn't travel. It's fine.
No, that's fine. He's immune to electricity. I think on his reaction.
This is amazing. Watch. Just keep cutting to it.
Punishment is absolute.
I hate you!
Punish.
Here we go. Masterpiece. Masterpiece cinema. Oh, all of this. Oh my god. It's so good. He was clearly naughty. That was good. Not as naughty as this guy, though.
The classic.
Garbage day! Oh. Oh, the stunt double. Balls of steel, this stunt double. Because, Jesus, how close it is. Watch.
Even just like little scoot.
Yeah, like, jeez. I mean, completely different hair on the... And of course it blows up, I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
And he never noticed. Oh, some more amazing editing coming up, yeah.
That's
fucking
amazing
amazing.
acting.
The scene transition is fucking amazing. We wanted to do that! So much to live for.
No more bullets. Dumb and stupid. That was my problem.
Oh.
Sorry things worked out this way, Henry. You only wanted to help. I appreciate the effort, though. But
What was he trying to help?
I know who's to blame.
What was he trying to help? Was he trying to rehabilitate him? Was that what it was? Oh my god, he's escaping off scene! Off camera somewhere, help!
And it's not like we're an armed police in a full station designed to hold prisoners.
We've got a problem, sister. We walked out of here 6
You
hours.
played that tape?
It's Christmas Eve.
The orphanage is closed.
From the body bag in the background.
They're interviewing her. They listened to that entire thing while they were putting him in the body bag.
Hang on, I want some pictures first. Yeah, that's going in the album.
In the old wank bank. You know, that's the first like Christmas music we've had in this entire Christmas murder movie.
Oh!
Merry Christmas. Santa's back.
He always seems drunk.
There you are.
Fucking hell. Do you think he's like that in like real life? Just
I hope not.
Every time you're in a conversation with him, you can't take your eyes off his eyebrows.
Let go. I want to talk about it.
Why does her room have a lock on it?
He can't overpower a woman in a wheelchair.
Whoa! Yeah, you wreck that room off camera. Do some real destructive stuff in there, okay? Wreck that place. Really get your money's worth. Ha ha ha! Oh! Ooh.
I order you to put that weapon down. Take your punishment.
No punishment.
You are being very, very naughty.
Naughty this!
An overhead downward chop. Sure. I wonder what the result of an overhead downward chopping action would be.
Mother Superior, are you all right?
How incredibly unlikely. Did he shout boo?
He did.
Or did he shout move? I'm never sure. So, with an overhead downward chop, he cut
chopped
her head off with no blood and then carefully placed it back on the body and sat it at the table.
I think the implication is that he did it, like when you pull on the tablecloth off from the thingy. He chopped so quickly that the head stayed balanced on.
But he chopped down over, straight down. So
Yes.
she leant over in the chair off to one side to give easy access to the neck. Right.
He's gone, sister. It's over.
How bored she looks. I don't know why that's there, but it is. There you go. Naughty. That's your fan fiction.
Yes, where he goes off on a second killing spree.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like I said, it's
And it's recycling day!
It's the most low-key massacre. Like someone going on a rampage. It's the most low-key, cheap. Like a few people get shot in the distance, that's fine.
There's a couple of squibs, and
Yeah.
that's about it.
So there you go. Merry Christmas, SiscHo.
Merry Christmas.
And a happy new garbage day. Oh, here you are. Are you pondering your orb again?
Yes.
Well, I was going to get pizza. Do you want some pizza?
Have a pineapple?
Yeah?
Awesome.
Sweet. Garbage. Oh, for fuck's sake. I think Jasper got in here.
Yep.
Sure. Oh, yeah, and the lights too, huh? He got the whole damn thing.
There we go.
Right. Whoa. So, garbage day. Silent Night, Deadly
Happy
Night,
holidays.
Part 2. SiscHo.
Yes.
What was Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2 all about?
Well, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 starts with 45 minutes of retelling of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1, interspliced with scenes of Ricky talking to a psychiatrist. Then he kills a psychiatrist and goes on a murderous rampage and kills a nun and a Santa. But not in that order.
Merry Christmas. Santa's back.
That's pretty much it. I mean, he retells he tells the story of his life, which starts with telling the story of his brother's life, where his parents were murdered in front of him, but Ricky was a baby, so clearly couldn't have seen it.
So he couldn't.
But he remembers, then his brother becomes a serial killer, and then he becomes a serial killer, and then they both get killed.
Following the family tradition of serial killing because people have been naughty.
Naughty.
Like you said, he speaks to a psychiatrist who doesn't seem to be a psychiatrist. He appears to be a journalist trying to get his life story. Played by not Keith Carradine. It's James Newman, but he looks just like
Keith Carradine.
Keith Carradine to us. Brother of actor David Carradine.
Yes, yeah. But
That we won't mention anything else about. You don't need to know anything else about David Carradine. You definitely don't need to know how he died.
There is nothing interesting in how he died.
I don't get it.
Do you want to get a pizza?
Stuffed crust?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is amazing, and it is still amazing.
It is still, yes, it is still amazingly great.
It's not the earliest memory of bad movies I have. Obviously, there's plenty more before it, but it has a special place in our hearts because originally, the way we heard about it, and the way most people probably heard about it, is in the early 2000s. There was a meme before memes were a meme, or a thing. Memes. A video, a very short video that was shared on YouTube, and what else was around at the time? MySpace and Bebo and Blip and every other old man internet thing. And it was just part of, not the entire, but part of the Rampage scene.
Yes.
The Garbage Day scene. And it was amazing. The actor was hilarious. His delivery was hilarious. Everything about it was just hilarious, and that's it. One thing that strikes me about Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 for us, and probably a lot of other people, is how it's a perfect bad movie for those who saw the meme.
First, yes.
Saw the meme first and hadn't seen anything about the film. Because if you haven't seen it, it's still a great build.
Oh, I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's still a great bad movie. I think anybody watching this movie would have a great time.
Yeah. It's a good bad movie, but I'm talking about the build of it.
Yes.
It starts small and builds up to an epic climax giggity.
And one key thing to mention is that is not intentional. That is an accidental perfect build that they have just randomly created.
Yeah, very, 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 very possibly. But it's even better for us who saw the meme.
Yeah.
Now, I'm specifically talking about the people who saw the meme first, right?
Yeah.
You know that scene because it's Garbage Day and a couple of bits before and after it. You know he's wearing that blue jumper.
Yeah.
So throughout the watching experience of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, the first time we saw it, we're kind of waiting for that because that's the bit we know.
Yeah.
And it's quite close to the end. So you're getting all these little amazing acting bits by Eric Freeman, who plays
and
Ricky.
A few other actors as well.
And yeah, we'll get into that. We'll definitely get into that. But you're getting these little bits, and it's funny, and it's funnier, and it's funnier and funnier. And then suddenly, he's wearing the jumper. This is going to be it. And you see how, spoilers, he gets the gun. And you're like, oh my God, that's how he gets the gun. Garbage Day is about to happen. And it builds it. Almost, like I said, perfectly, as if that was crafted. Like, it wasn't, obviously, because this was 1987. But that would have been the perfect marketing for the film. Because when you get that, everyone's going, yes, Garbage Day is about to fucking happen. And then you see the bin, the garbage can, if you will, and you're just like, oh my God, it's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. And then it happens and you're like, yes! And then the rampage continues after that. And it's amazing. And I think while we were watching it, I said to you, like, for us and the people who saw it that way first, that should kind of be the end of the film, because anything else after that, you've hit the climax now. You've hit Garbage Day.
The scene where he basically pats the psychiatrist on the thingy, and then he goes out into the corridor, and then
fade to black,
and then you just hear, "Oh my God, he's loose!"
Fade to black.
That is the end of the movie. That
perfect ending.
You only wanted to help.
I appreciate the effort, though. But between you and me, Doc, I know who's to blame.
It's a great build to that peak. And then you've got the little drop off at the end where they go off and he goes off on a you can't really call it a rampage. He kills Santa and then a nun.
Yeah.
Which yeah. I mean,
it's not really a disappointment, but it's a tiny bit of a letdown.
It's not it's a come down. It's a come down. You the perfect way to cut this movie is to literally end at, as you say, at the oh my god, he's loose, and then
fade to black, perfect finish. I'm gonna.
They get it.
They get it. Oh.
So I mean, and the first scene to me is just an amazing example of everything that is right and therefore wrong with this movie. So you start on Eric's feet, and there is the slow, almost sexual pan up.
The sexy pan, where you start on a character, usually high-heeled lady.
Usually it's usually, and that is done on almost every, in most movies that is the reveal of the sexy woman.
Mm-hmm.
But for this movie, it is the reveal of every main character, including the one, his love interest.
It's very equal.
Yes, it's very equal. The orderly comes in, who doesn't have a name.
The sexual tension is so fucking thick, it feels like there are pages of dialogue said between him and Ricky.
Literally just waiting for them to start fucking on the table.
Oh, hell yeah. Especially when he, for lack of a better term, bends over in front of him.
Yeah, that is so weird. The way he... Because I think what they were going for was just tension, or almost fear or anger or some sort of rivalry between the two.
Tension
but
and
they
suspense.
miss and they hit sex.
They threw a dartboard at a wheel with tension on it, and instead of dread and fear, they got sexual.
Yeah. These two people are just waiting for a moment to start fucking. So yeah, that's the first scene, and that then sets you up.
You're in for something special.
And
after
then
that.
you get Ricky's first few lines of dialogue, which I think we need to now discuss Ricky's eyebrows. Ricky's eyebrow acting in this is phenomenal. I mean, it's insane, and nobody would ever want it in a serious movie. But for our purposes, every single line of dialogue is delivered with multiple raised eyebrows.
When you first watch this film, there is a point when you haven't seen it before when you notice the eyebrows. It's usually very early on, and as soon as you notice them, you can't stop noticing them. Every line of dialogue he gives is accompanied with his eyebrows going woo woo woo. Yeah.
Almost every single word has its own eyebrow raise.
But I know all the moves. Very naughty. My old lady couldn't afford to send me to college. So I got a job. Too many people get away with shit like that. Oh, and mine isn't. You're really starting to get to me, Doc.
it's Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1. Again.
Literally 45 minutes. The first 45 minutes are retelling the first movie.
It's literal scenes, footage from the movie. So this kind of touches on something very, very close to something we have on the mountain, but different in very important ways.
Yeah, different in an important way. Yeah.
There is a filmmaker called Godfrey Ho who appears on the mountain quite a few times. He does a lot of martial arts films. And his shtick very, very quickly, although God knows how he got away with it, was he would use a film, an Asian film, redub all of that film in English, completely different...
story.
Yeah, it would turn it into a completely different story because everything that was being said was not what was originally said.
Yeah.
Film about 15 minutes of new footage of ninjas with Western actors, and then try and make a completely new film out of that. The context of the first film completely lost, and he would release that to a Western market as a ninja film, even though the original film is mostly, other than like about 15 minutes, nothing to do with ninjas, but you're told it is. So this kind of feels a little like that, only Eric Freeman is so amazing that for us, if not for everybody who saw it back then, this takes on an entirely different life. And you ignore everything from the first film for the most part. If you've seen the first film, if you haven't, then you're just like, oh, this is dull, but at least it's explaining it.
I think the thing about the first film is the scenes, I mean, it's a fairly bland slasher movie with a Christmas theme. It's not amazingly well acted. It's not amazingly well scripted. It's just a bland thing in the middle of the slasher craze.
Yeah.
It did sort of okay in cinemas. I think I looked it up and it was about 2.5 million. So that's a reasonable return on your investment. So I can understand them wanting to chuck out another one. It's interesting that they weren't willing to invest more money than like 250, considering.
Well, they wanted to make more. They wanted to make more of their money
off the first one.
So yeah,
but
they didn't want to spend more for a second one.
The unpleasant parts of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 all happen are pretty much all from the retelling of from the reshowing of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1. There's several very uncomfortable rape scenes which don't go on for very long and you don't really see much but it's basically a cheap way to get boobs in.
Yes.
Which is, again, it's a horrible thing that a lot of cheap writers and directors do because it's a quick and easy way to get boobs in your film without the context of it being in any way titillating.
I was going to say what you want.
Boob.
Say what you want about Andy Sedaris, boobs on the beach and all the rest of it. It's never rape.
Well, he's on record as saying, Andy Sedaris is on record as saying that he never wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So the women are all very much up for sex and they enjoy sex and it's all fine. So
and there's boobs constantly in shot. But it's never non-consensual boob stuff.
There's lots of boobs, but yeah. No, he's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He is a good boy. What's he looking at?
You're good, Doc. But I know all the moves.
All right, stop it with the eyebrows. You think the director never had a word with him about his eyebrows acting. You know,
he was fine with it. They're great. It's amazing.
It reminds me of the skit with the Luftwaffe thingy where they're trying to get the
Mitchell and
Webb, where they're trying to get the professor who's telling him about the World War I and his hands go crazy, and they're trying to get him to stop, but he can't stop, and they literally strap him down with a straitjacket, and he's still struggling.
Yeah,
maybe it was like that. They couldn't get the tape to hold his eyebrows in place.
You see them backstage duct taping down his eyebrows into place. Stop moving.
We've blown half the budget on his bloody eyebrows.
Speaking of the director, though, there's one scene which makes me believe the director was like, fuck it, I don't give a shit anymore. The cinema scene, it starts on Jennifer, the character we haven't introduced yet. We will get to it, and it pans across to him, and he's just sitting there going, and we're like, the director could say, Eric, that's not really the expression we want you to pull at the moment because it's hysterical. Tone it down a little.
The other thing is, from an editing perspective, you cut from a sex scene to that scene. So it kind of looks like he's just orgasmed and is now watching the movie.
But yes, you know what? Whatever. The nun Jaws scene. Let's get into some good scenes.
All right,
for this.
The nun Jaws scene. Ricky has been adopted after his brother is dead, and after the first movie's over. Ricky's been adopted by a family, and the mother is taking him shopping, and she's speaking to a friend, and along the far end of the road, Ricky sees some nuns, and it terrifies him. And he's like, Mum, Mum, Mum. And you got this weird music, and you watch the nuns, and they just scoot into a shop as the mum finally listens to him and looks, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And then the nuns come straight back out of the shop. And then he's like, Mum, Mum, Mum. And then the nuns duck into the next shop, and his mum is like, there's nothing there. And then the nuns come back out, and he's going catatonic. And they go into the shop right next to him. And then, for some reason, a red curtain is pulled across, and then the actor's just standing there going, and the mother goes, oh my God. And it really implies that she sees the colour red and goes, oh my God, he's seen the colour red.
Oh my God, we've done something we shouldn't. This is Gremlins. I fed him after midnight. Oh God, I've got to go. Yeah.
And then they cut to them. She's basically saying, I don't know what was wrong, but you've given me a deaf child, and I'm not happy about it. To the nuns.
Not quite what she says, but that's sort of what's implied. So yeah, the scene is set up, and we're pretty damn sure, because this is a horror, that it's supposed to be tense and scary, but it's almost like it's set up as a comedy sketch.
Yeah.
It's cut so perfectly, unintentionally comedic.
It's
that even though all it is a child being scared of nuns, it's almost a cliche, though, that the thing he's seeing, the other people don't see, and they're just like, ugh. It's filmed like it's a comedy.
It's such an odd thing, and it's so comedic, and I don't know what they were going for with it, because it is, everything about it is comedic.
It is.
Literally, the fact that the nuns, for some reason, they've had them ducking into shops so that she doesn't see them, but she doesn't know, because it's quite made quite. She doesn't know that he has an aversion to nuns, especially since they immediately take him to a convent.
They take him to more nuns to find out what's
basically
wrong.
They take him to more nuns, yeah, and he doesn't seem to be that bothered by the nuns when he's sitting there listening to them.
Well, that's the thing. It's not nuns. It's supposed to be the colour red, which reminds him of Billy, his brother, getting dressed up as Santa Claus.
But in that scene, it is nuns. It is nuns he sees that terrifies him.
It's the nuns that make him go. Until, like you said,
the red curtain pulls across.
It's not even like a red curtain. It's a bit of red felt. They hang on something, like the back of a chair or something. And then the mother, like you said, she goes, "Oh my God! Oh my God! That's not supposed to happen. I'm not supposed to show him the color red." But then it cuts to her speaking to more nuns, saying, "He went catatonic. I don't know what's wrong with him."
But the scene itself is glorious. I mean, it is bad movie at its best.
Unintentionally hilarious.
Yeah. That is the essence of bad movie, is something where you know that is, what they were intending with the scene was to build tension, to try and build the drama, to try and tell a story. But what they've managed to do is unintentionally comedic artistry. It is so fucking hilarious, but by pure random chance, by a mixture of bad acting, bad directing, bad writing, bad editing, it all comes together in some glorious, and that's what we're looking for. That is what we're hunting for when we're going through the movies we've not seen. We're looking for the stories where they went out there to make a brilliant movie, and what they produced was this. And in all fairness, I think brilliant. I think everybody who produced this knew what they were doing, because they started with the premise of let's just edit a framework around the original movie, and then realised that they had to do a lot more at the end. And so you get sort of a second movie, which is has the also advantage of only being about 40 minutes long itself. So that is kind of peak bad movie like timing, because bad movies should never go on for too long. We have discussions on Bollywood bad movies that I don't appreciate a 3.5 hour bad movie myself.
It's fine. It's fine. Well, I think we should probably talk about, in a film that has nothing but amazing scenes, our favourite scenes. Because Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, every scene technically is kind of a favourite scene. There are ones that stand out though to us specifically, and we each said, we can't have Garbage Day because that's everyone's favourite scene.
It's iconic, and we knew it going in too well.
Yes. And even if we didn't, though, that's known better than the film.
Yeah.
That is the scene. Everyone knows that scene. And like we always say, you can't have that one, that's my scene, which is why we always pick up a different scene when any film we're doing. It's like, that one was mine. That's why I didn't choose Daniel Green on getting hit by the truck, even though it's the best thing ever. So,
you just said that as an excuse to cut to that, didn't you?
You know what? It's so good, I'm going to cut to it again. So, interestingly enough, when we were picking our favourite scenes for this, your favourite scene technically leads into my favourite scene. Eric, a flashback, come out of the flashback, Eric again, my favourite scene. So why don't we start with yours, because technically yours leads into mine.
So my favourite scene, it's just after his father's died, and you're like, he's in flashback, and he's a teenager being played by somebody who's older than actually Eric.
Yes.
So he's 24, and the actor playing him at 15 is 24, which is older than Eric was during the actual filming. And
Eric was 21 during the film.
And he says to the psychiatrist, "I've never told anyone this before." And the psychiatrist goes, "Let it out." And he goes, "Here it comes." And it apart from the delivery and everything being pitch perfect, again, it links into that odd sexual tension that has been building between the two. And it's just, the delivery is so overtly sexual. And just, here it comes. The other thing I want to mention is, which we haven't done, well, I'm sure is in the watch along, which is just him getting spanked. And his brother getting spanked, and he's going, ah! And it's like, oh, God, oh.
The thing about that and your favourite scene that really makes it for me is the editing. Because there's such weird choices, and not necessarily in the ways you'd expect. In your favourite scene, the thing that always baffles me is you have, like you said, the doctor, he's speaking to the doctor, and it's extreme close-ups on both of them. Yeah. And Eric's looking directly into the camera. And Eric says, like you've already just said, "I've never told anyone this before." And then it smash cuts to the doctor, zoom in, reversed. They flipped the screen, so the doctor's looking in the completely wrong direction. And then you say, "Let it out." Smash cut back to Eric, looking directly into the camera, huge grin on his face, almost like orgasmic.
Here it comes.
It's just like, whoa, stop it.
Yes, they break the 180 rule like 4 times in that literal, like, what, 10-second clip, something like that.
It's hilarious lines, hilarious deliveries, confusing placement of characters. Oh, it's amazing.
It is a masterclass in what not to do in a scene.
I've never told anybody this before. Here it comes.
Oh god, his line delivery is so fucking on point.
And just to touch, I don't want to say that, to touch on the spanking scene that you just mentioned, again, it's the editing in that, like,
yeah,
his brother's getting whipped with a belt,
yeah,
and it keeps smash cutting to Eric, who in the scene is standing right in front of the psychiatrist, of Harry, of not Keith Carradine, like thrusting forward as if he's getting smacked.
And continuing, I can't remember exactly what he says, but it's like
What he says is, she was naughty, and it cuts to the psychiatrist, who you'd have thought, if this guy is going right in front of you, you'd have been watching, and it's almost like he's forgotten he's there.
He doesn't see the cutaways, so he doesn't know that Eric is, literally timing. He doesn't see that it's literally timed to the spanks. So he's. So...
But he's also, like I said, it's like it shows him, and he's just writing notes. Like, he's forgotten he's there, and he looks up really confused, like, "Whoa, who are you?" And he's like, "No, you're literally there to pay all attention to him, apparently, because you're making notes on him." It's my favorite scene is actually, I think, the climax of the sexual tension between the two of them. Your favorite scene is the climax.
Yes, my favorite scene is the climax.
Here it comes.
You have your scene. It cuts to him as a younger guy killing somebody with a car.
Murder.
With the aforementioned rape scene from the second film. Attempted rape scene, and he murders a boyfriend with a car. And then it fades back to modern day with him talking to Henry. And it shows Henry's notes. Now, Henry's been making lots of squiggly notes for no real reason, and it's down the page. And then at some point, for some reason, he went back up the page. He left a gap, and he wrote in big scribbled letters, "Red car."
Exclamation point.
And he's just filling in the exclamation point. And he's like very proud of himself for what he's just written. And he looks up, and oh no, Eric is no longer sitting in the chair straight over from him. And it's really baffling because he looks really confused, and he's looking around the room. Now, logically, and what we find out is Eric is standing right next to him, so he would be able to see him quite clearly. But in the shot, because it's almost comedic, it is fucking comedic.
Very comedic.
Eric just sort of slides in to him, looks down at what he's writing and goes, "Red car. Good point." And then fades away again, just leaving him stand there. And I'm creased up laughing because I immediately, in my brain, jump to Black Books with the scene with the cleaner. And I'm obviously showing it here, so I don't have to describe it too badly, where he just wheels in right next to Dylan Moran's character and goes, "What am I going to do with you?" And it's just that scene between the two of them.
What are you doing? Smash fell. I'm just wiping it into my trousers. Filthy. Whatever am I going to do with you?
Which, because he's so close and he's like, "Good point," is sexual all over again.
Okay.
And
so
after
what
that,
you're
he
saying
starts
is
getting
you
scary.
got the actual climax. So is that what your argument is?
No, I think we had the "Here It Comes" and he had the climax. This is post.
Oh, so this is pillow talk.
This is post-coital. And he's just right up in his face. And it's like, "Red car. Good point." And then floats out of scene again. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's amazing. And like I said, there's layers to that scene. Him scribbling "red car" for no reason at all in the middle of his notes. And him not knowing where Eric is, like, where did he go? Zoop, here he is. "Red car. Good point." Zoom. I just can't get over that scene. It's absolutely amazing. And even with Garbage Day, I think it's my favourite scene in the entire thing.
Going too fast for you, Doc.
There there's quite a lot of like really good scenes to pick from, and I picked this one because to me it's the climax of the sexual tension. But it's in and of itself. If you just had that scene without the rest, it wouldn't have that sort of the weight it does.
Yeah.
But because of you've had the entire sort of like first like 3/4 of the movie at this point, building that odd, very unusual sexual tension between the two of them, and it just peaks, and that just set me off.
Unintentional comedy, unintentional sexual tension.
The unintentional artistry within this movie is legendary.
Is what makes it worth it. Speaking of being worth it, SiscHo, would you recommend Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2?
Oh, fuck yes. To everyone.
Really? Well, maybe we're just jerking off here then. Huh?
I would highly recommend this to anybody. I think it's
thoroughly recommend.
It is thoroughly entertaining. I would happily watch this again now after just having watched it. I would like to watch it for Christmas. I think it is great.
Every year.
Yeah.
Watch it for Christmas every year.
I think, screw Die Hard for your action Christmas movie. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
Bruce Willis has nothing on Eric Freeman. Obviously, I would recommend Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 to everyone, even if it's in German or Spanish, as ours used to be. Speaking of, I should mention that the reason we had a Spanish copy was because literally before last year, 2020, the film was banned in the UK. The BBFC wouldn't rate it because originally they refused to edit out some kills, some boobs, and so you just couldn't get it. You can now, which is why we have the 101. Scream Factory also put out one in 2018, but obviously it was still banned in the UK. This is the 101 Blu-ray release, which unfortunately has quite a boring cover not compared to that one. That one's a boring cover as well, although that is a better cover than the Scream Factory release. But people in the UK, you can now, I don't want to use the term legally, but you can now, officially buy Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 in the UK.
You can buy the UK's release, basically.
This is the Blu-ray, and we can watch that one next year and do a whole new episode on it. Ponder you like a French orb?
Ponder me like your French monks. Why did I let you talk me into this?
Because it's amazing. Wait.
The timing. Oh, the timing.
Ponder, sir, ponder!
Oh, hang on.
My face is all up in shot. Nope, all up in shot.
There's a gif in that somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing I do want to mention though, before we go, or wake me up before, is obviously Eric's acting, but when he has the gun, and you pointed out just how forced his laughter feels, is ha 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 about the gun, and it immediately makes me think of the It Crowd, with again Chris Morris is amazing in everything he does. Look up everything to do with Chris Morris. And there's this joke where he's just standing there with a cup, and he's just ha 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 ha. I say, what are you doing? I'm enjoying this cup of tea. Brilliant. And that's all I can see every time Eric is laughing at the gun. It's the police going, what are you doing? I'm enjoying this gun.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Anyway, Merry
Goodbye.
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Have a good Christmas Eve. Have a Merry Xmas, and ponder some orbs.
How did I let you talk me into that?
It's easy. Like, yo, show your testes.
Yeah.
Not to have. There you go. Oh.
I think you get banned off YouTube for that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to do that. I mean, yeah.
You could maybe have a little clip to show that.
Right, well. Ooh.
You know, I just realised I've
What?
got Story of Ricky on the shelf of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is actually a story of Ricky.
2 stories of
Two
Ricky.
stories of Ricky. I'm mixing it up.
I love the harsh shadow of your bauble. That's amazing. Very Christmassy. Merry Christmas, SiscHo.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Internet. And happy holidays. Baubles!